In this video, we're going to talk about assignment operators. Now, we've actually used one or two assignment operators in our previous videos when we go and set a number to a variable, or we set a string to a variable, or actually using an assignment operator. And I'll just show you an example of this. So we have a variable, we'll call it var, and we set that variable equal to a number, 5. And then we can print out that variable, which is var, and we get 5 displayed here. So this equal sign here is what we call our assignment operator. Now, there's multiple assignment operators. So let's create a second variable. Let's call this var2, and we'll just rename this first one to var1, and we'll set var2 equal to the number 15. And now if we want to go and reassign this var2, so at the moment this var2 is equal to 15, and if we run this and print it out, we can see it's equal to 15. But if we wanted to change this, we could say var2, and then we could set it equal to something else, let's say 50. So this line of code here is ran first, and then this fifth line is ran. So the var2 is being originally assigned to 15, and then it's been changed to be 50. So if we run this, we can see 50 gets displayed. And now if we want to go and do something a little bit different, so maybe we want to assign a new number to var2, but we don't want to just set it equal to 15 or 50 or any other number. We want to have it dependent on another variable. So we're going to use var1 in this case. And what we're going to do is we're going to say var2 is equal to, we're going to use the plus operator in front of our equals, and then we're going to state a variable. So we're going to say var1. And if we go and run this now, we get 20, because it's basically saying, okay, var2, we want to have the original value of var2, which is 15, and then we want to just add this var1 to it. So you could also write it a different way. You could also say something like this: if you take away this plus and set it equal to var2 and then plus var1 and run this, you can see we get 20 as well. But I think the other way is a lot cleaner and it requires less code. So if we just get rid of this and switch our plus to the left hand side of our equals and run this again, we get 20. So while we can use the plus operator, we can also use the minus operator, and this does the exact opposite. So rather than adding 5 or whatever var1 has to our variable 2, we take it away. So we can see we get 10 in this case, because 15 minus 5 is 10. But if this number was to change to something like 6, we'd get 9, okay? So we'll change that back to 5. Now the next one that we can use is the multiplication. So if we wanted to multiply our variable 1 by our current variable, we could set it equal to this by using the little star sign. And if we run this, we get 75, because 5 times 15 is 75. And similar to multiplication, with using this asterisk, we can also divide. And to divide, we just use the forward slash. And if we use the forward slash in this case, we get 3.0. Now, keep in mind, we can also use a floor operator, which basically rounds it up to the nearest whole number. So if I put in another forward slash here and I go and run this, you can see we get 3. And we get the same answer, because last time we got 3.0 and this time we get just 3. So it's a whole number. It's not a floating point number. It's not a decimal point number. In this case, it doesn't make much difference because the number is still 3. But if we were to have a different variable, so let's say we had 16 as our variable 2, and we were to just divide normally, we would get 3.2. So if we now use the floor operator by using another forward slash and run this, we just get 3, even though the answer is still 3.2. We know it's 3.2, but the computer has just rounded down for us. So that's just something to keep in mind. And along with the division, we can also use the modulus operator. So again, getting the remainder of two numbers. So if I'm to do this for this example, 5 does not divide into 16 perfectly. There's going to be 1 left over. So when I go and run this, we'll see that we get 1 as our output. Now, if I was to change this back to 15, 5 would divide into 15 perfectly. So you can see our answer here is 0. And then the final one that we can use is 2 asterisks. And this just says to get the power of whatever the two variables is. So for example, in this case, we'd be getting 15 to the power of 5. So to do this, we just put in 2 asterisks and run this, and then you can see we get this big number here, 759,375.